I want to talk tonight about emotions and love. And I want to talk about the difference between the two. And I want to talk about making decisions based upon each. Because this is very important how we choose to make decisions. We can make decisions in two ways in life. Well, two main ways. We can make decisions. I mean, there's other ways that people make decisions, but speaking personally, this is what I've had to learn to do, is not make decisions aiming at good emotion, but make decisions aiming at love. Because it's very easy in life to simply live for the emotion, live for feeling good, right? I remember doing this as a child. And even as a young adult, I was very aware of my internal emotional state, which is normal. But I made the mistake of making decisions and doing things in my life to try to manipulate my emotional state, to get it back to what I wanted it to be. And I would make decisions in order to achieve that goal. But in that process, I made bad decisions. See what I'm saying? When you're just living for an emotion, you're like, oh, I'm trying to aim for feeling good. You can make bad decisions, right? Which ultimately produce bad emotions. when you experience the negative consequences and results of bad decisions. What's the alternative? The alternative is aiming for love. Real love. I don't mean just the shallow definitions that we have of love, although sometimes they're correct, but real comprehensive love from God's point of view. And love with Him, with ourselves, and with others. Okay? That's, if you look at the first and second greatest commandments, you love God with all your heart, mind, soul, strength. Love others as you love yourself. So we live in love with God, loving ourselves by His standard and loving others with His standard, okay? When that's our goal, we make good decisions. And then, right? So you look at it logically. You've got two paths that you can take. You can take the path of aiming for feeling good, right? Aiming for an emotion, an emotional state, or aiming for love. Love with God, love with myself, and love with others. Okay? And when we do those things, the first and second greatest commandments, love with God, love for myself, and love with others, we achieve the entire law and the prophets. That's what Jesus said, right? This is the law and the prophets, He said. So those are the results we want. Because it's much easier to do those two things than to try to live by the law and the prophets. That's a nightmare. If you've ever tried it, you know what I mean. So we aim for that, okay? So you got these two goals. You aim for the love, right? And you learn from God how to do that. We all learn from God how to do that. In that process, we make good decisions. That's the best way to make decisions, is living by the law of love. When you're living by God's law of love, you will make good decisions. When you're living by His love, His comprehensive, real, authentic love, which we learn as we grow and as we go, we make good decisions, right? And then what happens? Good emotions are a result. So children live by their emotions, okay? I've witnessed this, okay? I used to do it. But I've seen children and they're just completely emotional beings, right? They don't think objectively about themselves. They don't practice oversight on their own thought processes and their own decision making. They don't prioritize, right? They're just living out of their awareness of what's going on inside of them. Boom, right? I mean, babies are the ultimate example, right? They just cry, they smile, they laugh, depending on, there's no thought going on in there. Right? Thought, very little. Thought grows as people grow, right? So it's very common for children to just be wildly emotional and just live from their emotions and right? Everything they say, everything they do is all just they're a result of their emotional state, right? But as we can't do that, right? We can't do that as adults. We have to live by we can't maintain that mindset. And I've done it. I've made this mistake, right? And I've caught myself lately, a little bit slipping back into it. Oh, this is the way I'm feeling, and I'm making emotions off of it. No, right? It's not that emotions are bad. Emotions are great. God has emotions. Emotions are beautiful and wonderful things. They make life interesting and enjoyable and bearable in a lot of ways, right? If there was no emotion, it'd be a stale life. It'd be like lifeless and bleak, right? We have to have emotions. God is extremely emotional. Read the Bible, you'll see what I mean. So emotions are not bad. It's when we make them our goal, right, that it becomes a problem. Thank you and have a nice day.